Oh, yeah.
Do you want to go over there? Okay. Because you can't go anywhere because Mommy will kill me. Michael, can you say hi to the police commissioner?
Hey, Michael.
Got it?
How are you? How you doing?
Commissioner Hall? Oh, yeah. I know you can't see me, so
Watch the wires. Just to even it
I
up.
like the color today.
How about that?
all right, Michael, you can go over there. But
We're
don't
all
go too far.
coordinated.
All right.
Everybody watch Michael.
Tracy will kill me.
Yes.
We all set? Okay, I'd like to start off by thanking everybody who showed up today. Assemblywoman Kimberly John Pierre, Eli Hodges, New York Jets Coordinator, Community Relations and Youth Football, Tony Richardson, Jets legend and fullback, the Wyandanch High School football team, head coach Josh Shields, assistant coaches Phil Tolliver and Taquan Lanier, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Geraldine Hart, First Deputy Jim Skopak, Suffolk County Deputy Commissioner Risco Menchin-Lewis, Chief of Police Stu Cameron, Dr. Gina Talbot, Acting Superintendent Wyandanch High School, Paul Sibley's Wyandanch Principal, Pat Barry and Dave Knapp from Island Reach, and of course Senator Phil Boyle. Wow, it's been less than 2 weeks ago. I just finished reading an article about the sports program here at Wyandanch, and it really hit home. I know how important sports are for many of the kids here and for a lot of other people. Last week was actually 60 years ago. My father passed away before my 3rd birthday, and I was raised by a single mom till I was 16, so I know how important after-school sports and activities are. After I finished reading the article, it was actually pretty funny. I just put my coffee down, and in a 10-minute span, both County Executive Steve Ballone and Chief Stu Cameron of the police department called me up, and we're all talking about the same thing. What can we do to fix this? Right away, I said, count me in, that I'll kick this off, the fundraising, with a $10,000 contribution. I felt it's the least I could do for these kids, you know. Chief Cameron and Deputy Commissioner Risco Menchin-Lewis and Police Commissioner Hart started working on their end, and Steve Ballone started working on his. But then a lot of people were saying, why Wyandanch? You know what? My response was simple, fast, and with a little bit of a Brooklyn attitude thrown in. Why not Wyandanch? Okay? Yeah. But you know what? There's nothing to thank me for. The ones who should be thanked here are all the students behind us, the quarterbacks and the running backs. And you know what? Well, and wait a minute, hold on. And for the running backs and quarterbacks, make sure you thank your offensive linemen, because without them, you ain't going nowhere, let me tell you. All right? But here's the biggest thing. We all did this because we believe in all of you. We would not have done this if we didn't believe in all of you. Nothing is impossible, and if you always believe in yourself, you know what? Anybody could do it. Yeah. All right? So remember that. We did this because of all of you. We didn't do it for any other reason. For the last 7 years, I've been proud and honored to be the military and first responder liaison for the classiest organization, I think, in professional sports. It's like a giant family. When they heard I made the $10,000 contribution, they called me and said, what can we do to help? I was blown away. I didn't call them. They called me asking, more so telling me, that they want to help. That's why 2 weeks ago when the media asked me if we would have the $350,000, you know what? I told them yes. I told them yes, I know we would, but I couldn't announce the names of all the people who were going to help out on this. I knew at the time the Jets were in. So in a couple minutes, you're going to hear from a very close family member, Tony Richardson, New York Jets legend, who, by the way, only fullback in NFL history, 9 straight years, whoever he blocked for got 1,000 yards, okay? But I'm actually going to do something that a lot of you in the media aren't used to it. I'm going to thank all of you, because you know what? If it wasn't for the media getting out there and covering this story like crazy, I mean, seriously, all of you got behind this story because you knew it was being done for the right reasons, okay? I thank all of you. Then Steve, like I said, everybody started working the phones. But when Steve Ballone started dialing for dollars, let me tell you something. He does not get denied. I've known him for 10 years, and when he believes in something, especially when it's dealing kids, there's no denying him meeting his goal. When it comes to doing something what's right, you know, plain and simple, politics be damned, he's going to do what needs to be done, especially when it's dealing with the kids. Steve.
Thank you, Steve Castleton. Thank you very much. And again, please, a great round of applause for Steve Castleton. He stepped up right away with that $10,000 donation, reached out to the Jets. I want to thank a few people. Island Outreach, they are such an amazing organization. They really fly below the radar, but they were there from the moment this happened, quietly, just reaching out to the school district, to us, and really stepped forward in a big way, donating to this cause and making sure that they were reaching out to others as well. So I want to thank Dave Knapp and Pat Barry. Thank you guys. Great job, Island Outreach. So proud of the Suffolk County Police Department. Our Commissioner Jerry Hart is here, but our Chief Stu Cameron and First Deputy Commissioner Skopek. But really want to say a big thank you to Risco Mention Lewis, our Deputy Commissioner. I've worked with her for many, many years, and we met working here in Wyandanch, and she's here. The work that she does is really unique in law enforcement. It's all about the kids and making sure that they're on the right track. And so when this happened, when we were staring down at an entire sports year being eliminated for these players right here and the other sports programs at Wyandanch, she immediately took action. And because of the work that she's been doing, we were able to allocate $150,000 in state grant money that is targeted for gang prevention programs and allocate that to this effort. So to our Deputy Commissioner Risco Mention Lewis, Suffolk County Police Department, thank you so much for the incredible work here. And I do want to thank Governor Cuomo and Senator Phil Boyles here, and she is here with us, Assemblywoman Kimberly Jean-Pierre, who represents this district in an amazing way. Started her career right here in this district. I also want to acknowledge, he's not here, but Paul Toner, the former Deputy Presiding Officer of the Suffolk County Legislature. He stepped forward again, raised a significant amount of money as well. But, you know, for me, this is really important. You know, I played high school football not too far from here. I played for North Babylon. Sorry, guys, right up the road. And believe it or not, I was actually an offensive lineman. We were a lot smaller back then. The offensive linemen have gotten bigger since then. But I know how important football was to me. I know how important high school sports were to me. And I remember the two-a-days. They're out here on those hot August days doing two-a-days. That means they're committed. They're committed to something that's really important and really positive. And I think there was such a response to this story because everybody intuitively understands what it means to say that these kids and the other kids in all the other sports, what it means to them to have that wiped out. First of all, you have scholarship opportunities that are missed for seniors. You have juniors who miss out on the opportunity about being scouted and seen and the possibilities there. But just what it means to participate in high school sports, what it does for you, your character, your person. And, you know, somebody gave me advice as a parent. My son, Michael, is running around here. He's 7 years old, and he said, keep your kids busy. Make sure they're tired at the end of the day. There's nothing better than high school sports to get your kids tired at the end of the day, and you want them involved in stuff that's positive and great, and that's what this is. So I want to thank our superintendent for the great job here, our principal. This is a great community. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. I've been proud to represent this community for more than 20 years. And, you know, there are great things happening here, and there are great things happening in the school district. And I think this being such a positive story, this is what people should take away. This is a great community. People love this community and these kids, and I think this is going to be a big positive step moving forward for this district. So I want to thank them. And finally, I get to bring up the New York Jets. What a thrill for me as somebody who played high school football and grew up loving the Jets. You know, I go all the way back to another 14 playing quarterback for the New York Jets, Richard Todd, and watching him play at Shea Stadium and going to games there, and to see another 14 now leading the Jets, and all of the ups and downs that is part of being a Jets fan. But this is, and Steve said it well, an extraordinary organization that gives back to the community. And this is just one of many examples of how they have stepped forward in big ways. Thank you to legendary NFL football player Tony Richardson, great New York Jet. He played for a few other teams too. But great New York Jet. So proud and honored to have him here with us and the entire Jets organization, and proud to bring them forward now. Eli Hodges, New York Jets. Eli.
All right, well, as both Steve said, this is an awesome honor to be out here. On behalf of our team president, Jaime Elhai, our ownership, the Johnson family, we would like to thank you for hosting us today. My name is Elijah Hodges. I oversee all of our youth in high school football outreach for the team. Within my role, I just go to different communities and find different high school programs that we can see what we can do and make an impact. When we found out about this, school here, and in particular this high school football team, it was a very short conversation. Let's help. That's it. We looked at each other. Hey, we saw Steve Castleton, one of our closest people here with us, both physically and right now. But we saw that Steve helped out, and whatever Steve's doing, we know that we should jump right in and join, because whatever he's on, we want to join and help out. One of the main things that we like to do here within the organization of the Jets is remove barriers of access. Just giving kids the opportunity to play is one of our biggest things that we do throughout the communities. So being able to provide them with funding, and whether it's recertifying helmets, cleaning pads, buying new pants, jerseys, anything, being able to help out the football program was vital to us. One of the main things that we like to do throughout the organization is we say take flight, and that's what we hope that you guys do, is take flight from here. So we want you guys to take off and really go out there and just play your butts off. And we just want you guys to play as hard as you can. We hope that what we want to do is pretty much just open up the door and you guys just go from there. So we want you guys to have fun out here in the field, play as hard as you can, and we'd like to thank everyone who's joined us here today and everyone who's brought this program into the different public facing that we have here. And without further ado, I would like to turn it over to the all-decade fullback of the New York Jets, one of the biggest ambassadors that we have here in the NFL. Really just someone who just continues to grow our game. Once he finished playing, he just immediately just became one of the best guys out there to really just trumpet and talk about our team. We talk about not just the Jets, but the great game that we play here, and that's Tony Richardson, fullback. Tony.
First of all, I want to echo and basically say everything that has been said. It takes a community, and it takes a community to lock arms and put something like this together. I've been knowing Steve for a few years. He was my roommate when we did Fleet Week, so we do a lot of work with the military. So you're looking at a man who, obviously now I'm 47 years old, but come from a family. My dad was a Vietnam veteran, 32 years, Purple Heart. My sister did 28 years. So the only thing I've ever known in my life is service. Coming to the Jets and just understanding their mission and their passion. And Eli knows this. You know, one phone call, can you do this? Yes. He didn't have to ask twice. And so Eli and the Jets, we do a lot of different things in this community, and try to all the communities around the area. And that's one thing we're very proud of. To you young men, I just want to say that football changed my life. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have that football and that discipline in my life. And some of you guys are going to go to get division scholarships. Some of you guys may be the next president of the United States. But the thing about it, which we can definitely do that. Obviously, now I work for the National Football League, and we obviously encourage, because you guys are our lifeblood. You guys are going to be the next future. There's going to be a Le'Veon Bell here. There's going to be a Sam Darnold. And it starts right here on this football field. So the one thing that we want to do is just encourage you and learn and take all the values you learn from this, because there's nothing you can't do. If you can get up and do two-a-days, you could run the country. You could be successful. You could change this community, because the biggest thing what you want to do is you go get a degree, and then you come back, and then you live here, and you change this, and that's how progression changed. So on behalf of the New York Jets, the National Football League, Steve, I applaud you, man. You're a very special man. Even though we roomed together and I had to see you in some very vulnerable situations, but we're not gonna get into that. But you know, he's an incredible man, and I know as soon as he was involved, I knew this thing would happen. So and as Steve mentioned, thank the media, because that's the biggest thing is one story turns to two stories, and all of a sudden the community comes together. People start stepping up and locking arms and make sure you guys can be successful in life. So I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be here today, and thank everyone for being here. Thank you so much.
Do I have any water? Not yet. But, yeah, I'm sorry, but in a little bit. We want to ask our superintendent to say a few words. Superintendent Gina Talbert.
Thank you to our county exec and to everyone who's assembled here today for this wonderful occasion. This is a rewarding moment for each of us. Many times people consider themselves as stakeholders in a community, and many times they talk about how wonderful it would be to contribute and make a difference. But today, the stakeholders have stood tall. They've placed a stake in the ground, and they've made a deposit. They've made an investment into the lives of our scholars. What you've done today, you've increased attendance in school. What you've done today is that you've sparked dreams and made childhood memories a reality for our scholars. You're fostering teamwork, you're fostering success. Potential that has lied dormant will now come to life. Tomorrow will be brighter because you stood up today. And so we're very grateful and fortunate in the school district of Wyandanch for all of you who have followed this, has chased this dream that we've all had for our students. And today, the Jets is the icing on the cake. Having come forward and actually saved our football team, it's all about these young men back here in the green and the white. It's all about coming out at that first game and cheering them on and being their greatest cheerleaders. We're very grateful to have our board president, Ms. Shirley Jean Baker, with us on today. She's been a proponent of Wyandanch sports since her children played sports just a few years ago. And our principal, who really, really led the charge to galvanize the community to make this possible for our scholars. So thank you to each and every one of you for being with us today. Thank you for making a difference. You matter. Little or small, whatever you've done, it has made a tremendous difference. Hats off to our Jets.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we did notice the green you're wearing, Superintendent. That is
right.
Jets green. Before we do the presentation, I just want to ask if our Assemblywoman, as I mentioned, $150,000 that we were able to allocate in the county, gang prevention dollars, come from the state. So I want to ask her if she can say a few words. Thanks to her and, of course, Senator Boyle and Governor Cuomo for the support of programs like that down here on the local level with the police department that are so critical to the work that we're doing to help keep our kids on the right track. Assemblywoman Kimberly Jean-Pierre.
We work in partnership here.
He's got a Jets hat on.
So I just truly want to thank Steve Ballone, Risco mentioned Lewis, our Deputy Police Commissioner, everyone here, the school district, the school board, and most importantly, the Jets.
Yeah.
It is truly an honor because, you know, I say sports is the safe haven for our children. It gives kids an opportunity after school to find something that's not only recreational, but a career opportunity. And whether you be a football player or the next president of the United States or an assemblyman or a state senator, this is the place. And we need sports. No matter what zip code you come from, you should have the opportunity that each and every community has. And that's one thing I always say in the state, that we should, no matter what community you come from, the opportunity should be available all across the board. So I stand here with my state senator, Phil Boyle, John Brooks, who's not here, but we are a team, and we believe in the same thing, quality all across the board. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. And I also, just before we do the presentation, want to ask, I forgot to do this, but very important, again, as I said, very proud of the Suffolk County Police Department on the work they're doing in our communities, the work they're doing here in Wyandanch. I want to ask our Commissioner to come forward to say a few words. Commissioner?
Thank you. How you doing? Thank you, everybody. And I just want to thank everybody who's here, who has stepped up and stood up and said, you know what, we're going to be part of this team, and we're going to work together to make sure that this season happens. So it is an honor to be part of that. I do want to underline and recognize our Deputy Commissioner, Risco mentioned Lewis. So Wyandanch might have their Warriors, but we have ours. Without hesitation, Risco stood up and said, this is the right thing to do, this is what we should be doing. So I just want to thank her. She's always innovative in her strategies and her policing, always thinking outside the box. So it's just great to have her, and really I just want to tell you, as the Suffolk County Police Commissioner, we value our relationship with the communities. We really understand the concept of teamwork and problem solving together, and really this is what this is all about. So thank you so much, and good luck to the Warriors.
So I'm very proud to say that with all of the donations that have come forward here from places like Island Outreach, county money, Paul Tona, Steve Castleton, what he raised, and from many others. Very proud to say that we have more than raised the amount needed for the entire sports program throughout the one-day school year 2019. And putting us over the top and putting us there at the end and supporting this Warriors football program is the New York Jets. And with that, we want to ask them to come forward and make a special presentation.
The head coach.
Who's the head coach?
Head coach, principal. Oh, we'll do both, principal and head coach.
Coach.
All right, on behalf of the New York Jets, we would like to make a check presentation. A check for $25,000 for Wyandanch football. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Captains,
Have fun, guys.
Captains.
Captains.
Yeah, kids are captains over here.
Go in the front. Go in the front. You can kneel in front if you want. Take a knee in front. Take a knee. There you go.
Don't block the zeros. Straight ad.
You guys famous.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
On the count of three, put your number one finger up. 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, do we have any Jets fans here? By the way? We know this. All right, I'm gonna test you out. You know the Jets chant? What's the Jets chant? E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. All right, Tony. Great job. Thank you. Paul, great job.
Sims, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.